What's poppin'? Oh, yeah.
Oh, my God.
Welcome back, everybody. Yeah, Jack Harlow needs to sign me up, man. This is one of my favorite songs.
That needs to not ever happen. Oh, goodness.
What's poppin'?
You might have just ruined the song for me.
Oh, come on. Come on, Zion.
That was bad.
Peek behind the curtain here. Ian did not know that was by Jack Harlow until about 10 seconds before he said that.
Pretty much. Thank you, Seth. But anyways, everybody, welcome back to the Riff Ram Review here on 88.7 KTCU, The Choice, your choice for college radio. If you joined us for the last hour, thank you so much for tuning in. If you're joining us this hour and you're driving home from work or going to work a late night shift, thank you for tuning in. We appreciate the support here at KTCU. We had a good last hour talking a little bit about TCU football, heading towards Saturday for the big game against Colorado. We talked a little bit about TCU soccer, and then Zion gave us a great recap, really going into depth about TCU volleyball and kind of how they just need to bounce back for the rest of the season. But now, into the second hour, we're going to start things off going into some NCAA matchups for this weekend. So we're really looking forward to that. I know, we're all looking forward to the TCU Colorado game, but there's also a couple games left on tap.
It is the best weekend of the year, if you ask me. College football is a great sport, the best that this country has to offer. Not the NFL obviously is better, but college football brings me more entertainment on a week-to-week basis. That's just my humble opinion. There are some good games, Zion and Ian, and Zion, I believe that you're going to want to talk about arguably the biggest game of the first couple weeks of this season.
Yeah, it's definitely the biggest game. And before I start, I would say that it is definitely an elite week for sports, but like October, man. Like you got like NBA season started. I almost said NBA finals. NBA season starting. NFL, college football, baseball playoffs. Like October is the month.
It is the month, but this is a great week as well.
It is fantastic. So, yeah, this is, I think, the biggest game of, probably the first 2 weeks. It's number 8 Florida State versus number 5 LSU. I'm pretty excited for this game. Last year, these two teams played in week 1, and Florida State did get the win. And while neither team was ranked at the time, they both had pretty good seasons. I mean, LSU ended up in the SEC championship game.
They got their butts whooped.
They did.
Oh, yeah.
They did. But, LSU as a whole, they just had a crazy year for athletics. Like, from women's basketball to baseball. Like, now football is in the top 5. Like,
put a ring on it, man.
This is yeah, okay, I see what you did there. Yeah, they're pretty, they got to feel good about where their athletics department's at.
In this game, if it's anything like last year's game, it is going to be a ton of fun. I don't know if y'all remember how this game ended last year, but it was absolutely insane. Do y'all remember?
I don't. I can't.
I'm trying to remember.
Well, I can try my best to paint the picture here, but Florida State ends up coming out on top. And Florida State pretty much has the game in their hands. Late in the fourth quarter, they have the ball inside of LSU's 10-yard line, maybe even inside of the 5. I can't remember, but I think in an opportunity up by a touchdown, 28-21, I believe, to go down and either ice it with a field goal or just punch it back into the end zone and just end the game and end everyone's hope. There's like a minute and a half, 2 minutes left at this point. Handoff inside the 10, Florida State fumbles, and LSU recovers. And so then LSU drives down the field, and on the final play of regulation, they score a touchdown. And so then now, Brian Kelly and that LSU staff, they have a choice to make, and that choice was either to take the point and send it to overtime or go for 2. It's the dilemma of the century. Brian Kelly elects to go for 2, and they do not get it. And Florida State wins the game.
Yeah, that was definitely a wild start. Hopefully we get something similar to that. Like, I want to see a really competitive game here. And it's got the headlines, Jaden Daniels and Jordan Travis. I think they're both, it's kind of hard to gauge who's going to be a Heisman finalist. But that's kind of like two of the guys that I've seen getting some Heisman buzz. So it's definitely going to be an exciting matchup there with the quarterback position. They both have some really good defensive players with Harold Perkins and Jared Verse. So it's a really exciting matchup. I think LSU's going to win. I think they'll win. You know what? I'll go a step further. They're going to win with a game-winning field goal at the buzzer to knock off Florida State.
This game actually, that's a great prediction, but this game has the potential to be the letdown bowl, and not in terms of the game being good or not, but in terms of these two teams' seasons just being underwhelming based on their preseason ranking. Florida State is kind of getting the NC State treatment that NC State got last year, where NC State had a good year the year before, and then kind of had a like everyone's like, oh, okay, they're going to be good. And then Florida State, had that good year last year. But there's always the scenario where they just bottom out. Yeah.
It's important to not I think the preseason poll rankings it's not they're there, but
I mean, pretty much nothing.
Take it with a grain of salt. Literally, if you look at last year at the beginning, the top 25 rankings, and then at the end of the season, it's drastically different. So, teams are going to be overrated. Texas. There's just going to be
Did you say something there, or did I?
Oh, no, okay. I have no idea what that just came out
Texas
there.
overrated? What?
No, I mean...
They're back, I thought. They were back.
Haven't they been back?
20...
Yeah, I saw them the other day.
Yeah, I saw it. They beat Georgia in the Sugar Bowl.
Yeah.
Was that 2018? Yeah.
Yeah, they're back then.
Texas. I'm sorry, Texas, yeah.
Yeah, we'll
Pipe
see.
down, Texas.
Okay, until they actually go out there and really show me, because they have a good team, but it's kind of hard to tell.
Well, you're an ex-Texas fan.
I am, and so I grew up, and I know Ian's giving me the death stare right now.
Criminal.
I was a Texas fan, but the Cowboys, I can admit when they're a little bit overrated, and the last several years not looked too good for them. But I'm
not too good at all.
No, I've been a full-on TCU fan. I don't if TCU plays Texas, horns down, TCU's gonna win.
I have a revelation for you. TCU does play Texas on November 19th.
And regardless of how Texas is doing, that's still gonna be a fun game. And then on all seriousness, I think Texas will be good, but competing in the college football championship good, I don't think so. But we'll see.
There are some other good games this week. Y'all would probably agree with that. But my favorite game of the week is not TCU Colorado. It is not Florida State LSU. It is not even Nebraska Minnesota tomorrow night or Utah Florida. It is the bowl to end all bowls. Can Iowa score a touchdown on Mountain West Utah State?
That is such a you pick. That's such a Seth pick for the game he's excited for.
They are 24-point favorites, and I don't know if they can score a single one of those because Cade McNamara, the former Wolverine, is going to lead this just pity of it, this pitiful offense that Iowa is going to roll out there. It's the punt bowl. There's going to be punting everywhere.
The punt bowl.
Do y'all remember week 1 of Iowa's season last year? Do you know what the score was? They beat South Dakota State 7-3. Now, how did they get those 7 points? They had 2 safeties and a field goal. They did not score a touchdown, but they won the game. Iowa cannot gain a lick of yards, but they seem to have hope because they have Caden McNamara. He played quarterback at Michigan. He might be good. It's not going to be fun for Iowa this season. Iowa is going to be dreadful. Why are they 25? They're ranked 25th right now. Is it because their punter's the best punter in the country? Probably. That's the only reason I can see. I'm sitting on my soapbox right now because I love watching Iowa. They are the greatest entertainment for me. Watching Ohio State beat the doors off of Iowa last year was just the greatest thing. I don't even hate Iowa. I like Iowa. They're just not going to score.
Well, Iowa is the cornfields, right?
Yeah, there's corn in Iowa.
There, like Field of Dreams cornfields.
Yeah.
Right, yeah. Yeah, that's pretty much it.
You can't score in a cornfield.
Punts, Safeties and field goals.
Yeah.
Welcome to Iowa.
It's not been good for Iowa football. Iowa State was pretty tragic. They had a good defense, but yeah, those.
Speaking of good defense, Iowa has a great defense, but they can't score.
So,
but doesn't defense win championships?
they'll just have to
No.
They'll just have to
Not here.
get some fumble sixes or, pick off the quarterback 4 times and hope one of them goes to the house.
Or get 2 safeties and a field goal, call it
There
a
you go.
day, and win the game.
I like
Yeah.
that.
You need to have
Scrappy.
an A+ kicker and an A+ punter. You can't have. You got to be really solid on the special teams end if your offense isn't
Well,
going to be
Iowa is also tight end U, and
Yeah, it
they
is.
usually have
George Kittle.
They have very good offensive line too as well. But that's it. Their quarterbacks are usually inept. This year, hopefully, it'll be a little bit better with Cade McNamara, who started games at Michigan, which is no small task. But I just think the reason I am talking about this game so much, Iowa is going to win the game. That is almost
I would hope.
in the cards, absolutely in the cards. But I just love watching them. I will choose to sit down and watch Iowa football, and I know that y'all cannot join me in this because y'all are not sickos.
Yeah,
Exactly.
That is some that's some dedicated fanship right there to sit down and watch Iowa, and that's this is such a because the reason I say this is such a Seth game because Seth will text us saying watching the most bizarre matchups yeah, I'm watching just I can't even give you an the A's, no offense, but
Hey, whoa.
I mean that's honestly all I could really think of in the head, off the top of my head right there. But Seth will find the most bizarre matchups to watch, and no money on the game, just pure enjoyment of the most bizarre matchups. So picking an Iowa game as
It's fitting,
it's very fitting.
to say the least.
I'm just trying to have a good time, and that's how I have a good time. Well, there are some other games too. I mean, Penn State's playing West Virginia. It's going to be interesting to see. In all seriousness, Penn State, Drew Aller. There are 3 different ways to pronounce this guy's name, and no one can seem to find a consistent way to say it. Not even him. I've heard him say it 3 different ways. But he 5-star recruit. Interesting to see how he, kind of takes the helm there at Penn State, especially going against West Virginia. That's going to be a game that TCU fans keeping an eye on. That's a Big 12 opponent for sure. Y'all are going to be at the game against Colorado on
yes.
Saturday,
Oh,
correct?
yeah, we will.
Yeah, it's going to be hot, man. I'm not going to lie. It's going to be brutal. There might be some students that are in serious trouble by halftime.
Yeah, so
yeah.
you're not going to be watching any other games at 11 then.
No.
Most definitely not.
Wait, you're not going to be there?
That's not what I didn't say that,
Oh.
but I'm not.
Seth, seriously?
No, I'm not going to be there.
Man,
I'm
what you
sorry.
doing? It's opening. It's actually opening weekend for college football. Big news here. Where are you going to be, man?
I'm going to put my dunce cap on. I'll be in Little Rock, Arkansas. Because, this is kind of a funny story. I forgot I had a bit of a scheduling mishap here. I agreed to go to the Arkansas Western Carolina game in Little Rock, and I was not told the date whenever this information was given to me, and I said yes, I would love to go to the Arkansas Western Carolina game. That sounds like a fun time. A trip to Little Rock, fantastic. And then I find out about 3 to 4 weeks later that it is on September 2nd at noon, and that coincidentally is an hour after TCU starts at 11 here in Fort Worth, which I will be 5 hours away from.
That's brutal. You're going to miss our TCU's home opener coming off a national championship where everyone is going to go crazy when they step on the field. And you're going to be watching Arkansas versus who? Who are they playing?
Western Carolina. You don't know them?
Better be worth it, Seth.
You know what? I think it will.
Hey, you know what? A trip to War Memorial Stadium will be nice.
I've had sources that have told me that the Wi-Fi is great in the press box.
Wi-Fi is great at the press box at War Memorial Stadium. It's wonderful.
Yeah.
It works really well.
The Wi-Fi at the Carter, oh my goodness. And game day, it's brutal. You're lucky to get, Instagram loaded, a single post loaded at the Carter, and you're standing the entire time.
You don't have to stand. You can sit.
Yeah,
You can if you want to just stare into someone's backside.
Yeah, you're not.
And then
gonna-
you're,
a third down. Yeah, you're not gonna
taking the keys out on third down. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not going to sit.
As you know, we're all students, obviously, at TCU. So we, the last 2 years, I transferred here. So in 2021, and that's when these guys started here as well. So we've kind of seen the student section evolve, a little bit, and it gets rowdy.
And every sport too. That's what's kind of crazy too, is that every sport kind of as we've been here has kind of gotten bigger. Basketball is one I think of especially.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I'm excited for basketball too, but we're not going to talk about basketball.
Save for the basketball podcast.
Yeah. That's
We'll save that stuff for the future. But no, I mean, some great matchups this weekend, Seth. I am sad to hear that you will not be here in attendance in Fort Worth, but have fun at War Memorial Stadium. Interesting fact about War Memorial Stadium, at the corners of the field, it actually slopes upward, believe it or not. So when you're playing a soccer game, the ball actually it makes it really difficult to have the ball leaning on that corner kick area. But hopefully that doesn't affect football too much. But yeah, have fun at War Memorial Stadium in Little Rock, Arkansas. Little Rock's always fun to kind of go into and check out.
I'll bring an update to next show on next Wednesday about the Iowa-Utah State game. I'll give my little recap of what that was like.
All right, well, folks, thank you so much for tuning in. We will be right back after this break. I think I just cut Zion out. But yeah, we will be right back after this break here on 88.7 FM KTCU, your choice for college radio. Stick here to listen to the rest of Riff Ram Review here tonight.